Okay, you ready? You ready? Yeah. Hi! So yes, I'm in my bed again because I want to be. I'm just in the mood to be in bed. Again. It happens to the best of us. Am I right? There. Welcome to another episode of This Is Why I'm Single, because I'm still single. That's the thing. Nothing makes you feel more single than the holidays. I mean, Christmas has come and gone, New Year's Eve just passed, and I feel even more so alone than ever. So why not join me as I delve deeper into the factions of my love life and shed some light on my dismal existence. Although it was not the best of movies, I felt a personal connection with the 2007 romantic comedy Good Luck Chuck, starring Dane Cook and Jessica Alba. In case you've forgotten, or maybe you made sure that you never wanted to see this movie, the plot is Dane Cook plays a guy that if you sleep with him once, the next person that you meet is your true love. Now, I am not Dane Cook to this extent, but I feel that anyone that I'm interested in and wanting to pursue a little more ends up this way. The next person they're with is the one. Now this has happened more times than I can count, but for this video, I'm just gonna focus on 3. The first example being my first boyfriend. No. Mark and I dated about 1.5 years-ish before things imploded and we broke up. He couldn't see himself being married or having kids or being with me long term. That's fine. By that point, I didn't give a fuck about him either. He made it extremely easy for me to break up with him and get over it as quickly as possible. Thank you. The interesting part was when we tried to say friends afterwards, and he started telling me about this girl he liked. So I'm egging him on like, yeah, go for it. I'm tired of you talking about her all the time. And before I knew it, she was pregnant, they're married, and had their kid. Like, wow, like, good for you. I give no fucks about it, but it is an example nonetheless. The next example is actually the last person I dated. If you can really count it as dating because you only officially went on like 1 date and I paid. Adam and I had gone to college together and we never quite was able to make it work because either he had a girlfriend or I had a boyfriend or, you know, I graduated, and so we kept missing each other. And then it was about 3 years later that we finally were able to be like, hey, do you want to try dating because we both like each other? Sure, why not? So we spent months talking, and I would visit him when I could, but it was kind of hard because I was like 5 hours away, so I couldn't do that all the time because, you know, I had a fucking job. Ugh. And all in all, it was fine. There was a time that I drove into town and he forgot I was coming and left me stranded till like 2 a.m. Oh, and it was on the night that I found out one of my good friends died. Like, just left me alone till 2 a.m. And then the next day he took me to a party and didn't talk to me the whole time, which is kind of weird and rude. So I move here and I'm less than 2 hours away and he still stands me up even when he's in town. He blew me off again and again and again and again. That alone made me stop trying. I couldn't always be the one to drive to see him, and he wasn't even making the effort to text me every day. Or every other day. Or more than 3 times a week. So why the fuck would I wait around, am I right? I had waited around for months, and that was too many months too long. And the last time I saw him, he was drunk at my door saying how he wanted to try and make it work. He tried kissing me, and that's when I realized that I felt literally nothing towards him anymore, and I told him that it wasn't gonna work, and that he needed to leave. And call me mean, but I can only be treated like shit for 5 months before I get my head straight, apparently. I eventually unfollowed him on all the social medias because I just couldn't. Why couldn't I? Well, after a week, maybe 2, he started posting all these pictures with a girl. Good for you, don't give fucks. But I know how to creep, and I creep well. And so I creep on your boo's Instagram, and y'all been together longer than a week or 2. So fuck you, for one. And you know what, y'all look happy, so good for you. Congrats. I don't care, I'm done with you. I just don't want to see it. An interesting tidbit is that she actually lives in the same town as me. So apparently he does not have a problem driving into town to see someone. He just can't do it for me. Unfollowed. Good. Great. Then, out of curiosity, I was thinking about how he had talked about he was going to move here one day, which is why we were trying to make it work. But obviously, did not work. So I wanted to see if he had, in fact, moved here, since his boo is here. The very picture that was posted a few hours earlier was the proposal picture. She said yes! Congrats! My timing is just impeccable, isn't it? Now, this is coincidence, right? This can't happen with every guy, because that would be outrageous. Hey! The last guy that piqued my interest, I figured was pretty safe, because he had been married before, didn't want kids, he didn't like drama, and was like real laid back, which totally fits into my lifestyle, being a fucking sloth all the time. I mean, I couldn't even get out of bed to do this video, am I right? I'm right? I'm right. We would hang out and watch Netflix, and oddly enough, was not interested in chill. Cool. But basically, it was like beer, the dogs are playing, watching old black and white TV shows, a little bit of cuddling, a few kisses, and it was really nice. Very chill. Until he just stops. Stops inviting me? No. Just kind of fucking disappears altogether. Doesn't text back or message or anything at all. It's work, I'm told, a couple weeks later. It's cool. I backed off. He actually moved south, and that made it harder for me to come by anyways, so that made me try even less. So other than him occasionally messaging me to check in, I just stopped trying altogether. Because believe it or not, I can take a fucking hint. Well, as I do, I eventually got bored and started to creep. So I started this girl start to appear in his Instagram pictures. And I'm mostly sure it's her baby that's in the pictures, since he never had kids. Plus there wasn't enough time to like conceive and birth and do all that with the age that he looks, despite the fact she's appearing more and more frequently. Like, she's a thing. Cool. Not being a total spaz, I was just like, ooh, is she your new boo? And he's like, yeah, she is. I'm trying it out. Okay. Well, after a month or two, I ended up, bored and creeping again, and checked in and was asking about work, and I was like, huh, I wonder what you're up to, but I can act like I know what I'm talking about. That's where I see pictures of them still together, pictures from the holidays, cute, right? They're doing like events together, and there's all these fucking hashtags, like hashtag pre-wifey and hashtag fiance. So, for someone that sounds so laid back about, like, everything relationship, that sounds pretty serious, right? But congrats! I see why you don't reply to me anymore, because taken! I do wish you guys the best in all your lives together. Now, my curse, if you will, is not always marriage. It can be that the guys who never date find their long-term girlfriends and they're happy! And if they're happy, I'm happy. So this is why it drives me crazy, because guys will tell me over and over that they're not into marriage or they don't want to have a girlfriend right now, but I am shown time and again that guys can change. They just won't for me. But after all this, there's one thing I know for sure. This is why I'm single. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I hope you do subscribe and like this video. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye!